Yo, 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 this is not the smartest guys in the room. How's everybody doing today? How are you, Tom?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Doing well, doing great. I don't know. Something like
Mhm.
that.
For some reason, I'm not hearing Tom today. Let's see. Yo, 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 yo.
Oh, okay, that's why. So you could hear me. I wasn't muted on the live stream, but I was muted on Clubhouse. So that's why you couldn't hear me. But now you can hear me and I said I'm doing good. I'm doing well.
All right, yo, yo, yo. This is not the smartest guys in the room. Tom's doing well. Dom's doing well. We're back. We were on winter hours. We call that winter hours? We took a week off.
I mean, hey, look, I think we deserve to have a Wednesday off here and there. We did summer hours last summer, but otherwise, I mean, for years we've been remarkably consistent on Wednesdays, right? Like, I mean, Wednesday mornings for years we've been showing up, week after week. And so, hey, look, life gets in the way sometimes. Things happen, people travel, life gets busy. Sometimes we got to skip a Wednesday, and sometimes it's the summer, and we want to lighten the load a little bit. So I think it's fair. I think the people uh, uh, will be forgiving of us skipping a Wednesday here and there.
That's right, my friend. We're going to talk about Super Bowl, the business of Super Bowl ads today. But I have a friend, Mike Mannix. I think you came across his book, The Five L's: The Gift of a Balanced Life. And if you have these five things, love, laugh, love, laughter, labor, leisure, leave, you'll have a good life. You'll have a balanced life. And so one of the things he talks about is this oxygen mask theory. Put in your own. If you're on a plane and it's going down and you have to start saving other people, you will want to put your oxygen mask on first. So hey, if we got to take care of our own stuff once in a while, that's what we got to do because to help other people and put out high quality, you got to take care of yourself. Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, I couldn't agree more. I mean, right, like we've talked about it before. Probably everybody listening knows this at this point, if they've been around for a hot minute. But I'm a volunteer firefighter. I've been involved in the volunteer fire service pretty much my entire life. I grew up around it, right? But one of the things that we're taught, and that we teach new people as they come into the fire service or any emergency services, right? One of the things that you're taught is to like moderate your response, right? So you get the alarm goes off, you get that adrenaline dump, and it's really easy to like speed to the call, right? To get there as fast as you can. But one of the things that's drilled into us and to everybody in emergency services is if you're responding to a call, an accident, a fire, whatever the case may be, an EMS call, right? Whatever you're responding to, you are going there to help people. But if you don't get there because you were driving too fast, you ended up getting in an accident on the way, you weren't safe going through an intersection, and got stuck that way, whatever the case may be, right? If you don't get there, you can't help anyone, right? So the first priority in emergency services and responding to a call, very similar idea, right? Is get to the call safely. And sometimes that means slowing down a little bit, right? To be safe and to get there, just like slowing down a second to put your mask on first before you put your child's mask on or somebody or help somebody else with theirs, right? Like that oxygen mask theory that you were just talking about, that you have to sometimes slow down a little bit. Sometimes slow is safe, and safe gets you there faster. So yeah, so totally agree. Totally agree.
Right on, Tom. Hey, we're going to talk about Super Bowl ads today, the business of Super Bowl ads. Super Bowl is upon us. It's a big business. I got two stats I'll give you, and then that can lead us into uh, this conversation. 127 million people on average watch the Super Bowl, and the ad price right now is up to $8 million for 30 seconds. So I thought, Tom, we could start there on those topics, and then we'll talk to Dr. Tachi, Jimmy, and whoever else comes by. What do you got?
So I'm kind of two minds when it comes to Super Bowl commercials, right? Because on the one hand, I enjoy them. there are often sort of really interesting, fun, innovative, creative takes and ways of sort of telling. A lot of times, and it's something I've noticed in the last number of years, that like there has been sort of a shift, especially in Super Bowl commercials, and they sort of set a tone and act as templates, and people hold them up as examples of like the best of advertising, right? And they're over the last number of years, I've noticed that there is a trend that more and more of them are trying to tell a story, right? Which I think is great. Obviously, I'm biased, but I think the more we can incorporate storytelling into even our advertising, our commercial advertising, I think the better off we're all going to be, right? So I like them, and they're fun and interesting to me because of the work that goes into them, and because I'm a production nerd, right? Like, so I get nerdy about that stuff and I love it, right? It's interesting to me, it's entertaining and intriguing to me. So on the one hand, I really like them because of that. But on the other hand, from a business perspective, I think they are ridiculous. Like, absolutely, like, stark raving crazy ridiculous, and honestly sort of dumb and really vain. And what I mean by that is, like, I think it's insane to spend, even getting in front of 100 and something million people, right? 170 million people, something like that. That's what you said, right? 170 something million.
127 was the ad.
127. Okay, there was a 7 in there. I was close. 127 million, right? So even if you're getting in front of 127 million people, right? $8 million for 30 seconds. I would guess that in that 30 seconds, you are not moving enough people to sell enough product to drive enough revenue to justify that $8 million, right? Like, it doesn't make sense. That kind of ad spend for one 30-second spot, plus when you pile on top of it, right, you pile on the cost of production that goes into these commercials, because obviously there's a very high bar for Super Bowl commercials. So often there's like big name celebrities, right? Like household name people in these commercials. They spend big budgets on the production. So millions of dollars go into making a 30-second commercial. And then they spend millions of dollars to broadcast that 30-second commercial to 127 million people. And I would venture to guess that it is a loss every single time, right? That it doesn't really do much, or actually anything coming close to return on the investment, right? For what they put into it. And so the question then is, why do people keep doing it, right? And I think there's a lot of ego and a lot of vanity sort of behind a lot of these projects, right? For some companies, it's just, hey, we can afford to do it. 20 million bucks for a 30-second commercial in the Super Bowl, right? By the time, all the costs are accounted for, 16 to 20 million dollars for a commercial, like, meh, whatever. 20 million bucks is no big deal for us, right? We're like a $100 billion company. 20 million bucks is peanuts. It's pocket change. Like, that's loose change we found in the sofa in the break room. No big deal. Whatever. We'll spend it because it's fun to like have a Super Bowl commercial, right? So I think there's some of that goes on, but I think then also there's a lot of people, there's a lot of smaller companies that kind of hang their hopes on it, and it often falls short, right? And so I don't think that they're a good idea from that perspective. So on the one hand, I like them because they're fun and entertaining and interesting and creative, and they use great production techniques that sometimes are interesting to somebody like me. But on the other hand, I think they're vain and stupid and a huge waste of money. So there's that.
Okay, these are good takes and a good way to start it off. So, one, I was thinking, if you get an ad for just the Super Bowl, it's not like you get that ad 15 times to air on NBC or wherever, the CBS, wherever the Super Bowl is. You buy it for that day. You can probably buy a bigger campaign that isn't just that on that Super Bowl. Well, then that takes up more than the 8 million. But I was wondering nowadays about, since so many of these ads get played on social and YouTube via, like, now it's share this ad, share that ad. What do you think about this? I wonder how many more times that ad is shown for free. I wonder now, if 127 million watch it, with them being showed on TikTok, with them being showed with the conversations like this, how many times that ad ends up being showed over the one, you know. Now, the question I got, I have to start out, Dr. Tachi and Jimmy, you can tell me, Tom, the worst ad ever that I want to go, I'm going to start off with just because it's the completely opposite of storytelling, in which Tom just mentioned. For a company to put up a QR code and only a QR code and have it dancing around the screen, it's absolutely terrible. And I don't know what their return on this when they did that. They put their QR code and bounced it. No song, no story. Every QR code. I'm in the business. My authors use QR codes. I have ads with QR codes. We have spec, we have story, and then there is QR code where you can get more information. This ad, who put just their QR code going around the screen, had nothing else but a QR code, distinguishing it from any other QR code. They did not. And then they said, we don't want anybody that doesn't, this was a couple years back. They said, we don't want anybody that doesn't know what a QR code is. Okay, people know what a QR code is, but I don't know what your QR code was. So to think that I'm just going to your random QR code because it's on the Super Bowl, I'm not. So whoever ran that campaign, they should be fired. No, that's my take on that, Tom.
So you didn't scan it?
No, I didn't scan it. Was it awesome? Did you scan it?
I don't remember if I did or not, and I don't remember if I did. I don't remember where it went. I think I was in a room with a bunch of people. I remember that ad, and I was in a room with a bunch of people, and I'm pretty sure one or two people scanned it, but I don't even remember what it was for. I think it was for it might have been for one of the betting sites or something like that. Like I don't remember. I don't even remember whose commercial it was, but it was nothing I was interested in. I'll tell you that much. I think the other thing too is that you talked about when you spend that $8 million for a commercial in the Super Bowl, that's one 30-second spot for $8 million, right? So on average, it takes 8 touch points to create a conversion, right, through advertising. So at least that's the statistic that I found real quick. So if it takes 8 touch points, right, to create a conversion through advertising, right, you've spent $8 million plus production costs for one touch point. But now you got to do 7 more, right, in order to maybe get a conversion out of that person through that modality, right? So at the end of the day, that one, and maybe it's worth 2 because it's people highly scrutinize these commercials and these commercial spots, right? Like during the Super Bowl. So maybe it's worth 2. So still you got 6 more, right? I mean, the math don't math to me. It just doesn't make sense to do from a business perspective if you're trying to generate revenue from it. The only way it makes sense is through earned media attention after the fact, right? If you create a Super Bowl commercial that is so great that it gets picked up and shared around all over the place by people, right? Because it's such a great commercial, then I think it makes sense. But often they're not. They're just big celebrities doing normal stuff, like just a huge household name celebrity driving a car, right? I'm thinking the Matthew McConaughey Lincoln commercials, right? Where he's just riding along in a Lincoln and we hear his internal monologue or whatever, as he's driving down a dusty road in the desert in his Lincoln. That's not groundbreaking or earth-shattering or incredibly interesting. And it's not going to get shared a lot. So congratulations, Lincoln, you wasted a ton of money.
It's interesting you say that with this. Hollywood has this idea of same thing but different. Give me the same but different. Give me Snakes on a Plane is, another movie on a plane or something like that. So here you say last year, I believe there was a commercial with the guy from Maverick driving the truck, and they had dragons around him and stuff like that. Then Harrison Ford does a Jeep ad where he gets out, celebrity in car gets out, personal narrative. He rides Jeep. The other guy has long hair. And I mean, been done. How much you want to bet? Let's put a wager on it now. I bet it is done again this year by somebody. We want to bet, Tom?
Oh, I will not take that bet because I think you're absolutely right. I 100% agree with you. If anybody wants to bet against either one of us on that, then I will take that money. But yeah, I 100% agree. I think we are absolutely going to see at least one car commercial with a big name celebrity doing nothing interesting in the car.
This year it will be a woman. That's what I would do. Okay, Super Bowl, the business of Super Bowl ads. The queen of media, Dr. Tachi, what say you on the subject? Good morning.
Hey, good morning. So I'm very interested to see what the Super Bowl ads are going to be this year. Um, who's doing what? Who feels what is funny? That's really the only, because I really don't give a damn about football. So I really only watch for maybe whatever halftime show there is, and then for the commercials, definitely. Um, to what Tom was saying in terms of the excessive spend, there's nothing that is worth $8 million for a 30-second, 45-second, or 60-second spot at all. Nothing. And to me, it shows that media is hanging on, legacy media, I should say, is hanging on to the last traditional threads of everything, and they refuse to let go. The fact that people don't understand the direction in which media is going, namely these big brands. Because for you to spend all of this money only for no return, as Tom has said, is completely asinine, and it doesn't make any good business sense. And at some point it catches up with you that that money could have been better spent in other ways. But I don't blame them. It's because they don't know any other way, and they refuse to learn another way. If we take a look at advertising online, or we take a look at social media advertising, honestly, if you ask me, even though the eyeballs may be quote unquote less, even though that's not shaping up to be the case anymore, now that we have more people watch content on YouTube than they do on traditional television, that should tell you something. And smart brands should be looking at, okay, there's no promise when you spend $8 million that you're going, in fact, we're not going to make it back. But we could take a lesser gain and gain new audiences, younger audiences, who, even if they're not ready to buy our product right now, they will remember us for whatever clever thing we did. So if you ask me, the clever thing to do would be, if I was an advertiser and I was going to get this together, I would definitely advertise and do something kind of Super Bowl-ish related or football related on social media or on YouTube, rather than spend that money there, which I know is not going to come back. And in fact, if you're a smaller brand, that's what you have available to you. Do that. So 100% agree that it's foolish to spend that much money. And it also shows that people are always trying to hold on to the last threads of things because they don't want to change. They don't know another way, and they don't want to learn another way. And look to the future, which is all these other platforms, online platforms, and social media. I rest.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree, Dr. Tachi. I think you're absolutely right that you know, as we see like these kinds of prices and the sorts of companies that advertise during the Super Bowl, it is absolutely you know, a sign that legacy media or traditional media is just white knuckling onto that business model, and this is sort of like one of the last vestiges of it, right? Like one of the last remnants where they can actually charge those kind of prices and get that kind of return for their advertising space. The thing that just popped into my head when I was listening to you was, you know, when you think about the kinds of companies that tend to create Super Bowl commercials, I'm pretty sure that Amazon has had a Super Bowl commercial or several Super Bowl commercials every Super Bowl for the last number of years, and like somebody can fact check me on that if they want. But I'm pretty sure I've seen them. I've seen Amazon, some iteration of Amazon advertising the Super Bowl. And like, here's just something to think about. Like, you know, when you said that money could likely be better spent other places, in the last 6 months, Amazon has laid off 30,000 people. And you know, they sort of notoriously underpay their delivery drivers and overwork them to the point where, you know, they can't even take bathroom breaks, right? Like, this is like sort of become a almost a trope. You know, the Amazon delivery driver going to the bathroom in a bottle, right? Or having to pee in a bottle, like, but it's a trope or a stereotype that's true because like it's all based on factual, actual, real cases and real instances of that. So you think about like, you know, a company like Amazon spending money on a Super Bowl commercial while they're also in the, you know, coming up on the end of, they laid off 16, I think it was 16,000 people in towards the end of last year, and they're in the process of laying off another 14,000 this year, or vice versa. It's one of those two. It's 14 and 16, and I don't remember which number came first. But in total, 30,000 people in the last 6 months, right? So like they're laying off 30,000 people, but for some reason they think it's a wise way to spend, you know, tens of millions of dollars is to buy one commercial or pay for one commercial in the Super Bowl. It seems, you know, pretty ego driven, pretty asinining, pretty out of touch, right? It's like it's sort of the one of the most clear examples of people sort of at the top of industry or at the top of large businesses being woefully out of touch with what is an appropriate way to spend money and how their money is best spent when looked at by other people and people not in positions like theirs. So yeah, I mean, that just popped into my head listening to you talk about it, and I thought it was worth tacking on to the end of your thoughts there. What do you think, Tom?
I was doing some calculations while you were talking, and we're coming to Tom's thumbs here in a second, but let me get my calculations first. If Ford makes $600 a truck, I just went with a $600 figure. I've heard it's $500 at the end of the day once truck sells off lot, you know, all these ways down. So Ford, based on one $10 million ad, they need to sell 16,600 trucks from their commercial. Now, I'm guessing Ford usually averages ads, has a couple ads on, not just one 30-second spot. And then Pepsi, which Cindy Crawford was one of my favorite ads when I was looking through all-time ads. Cindy Crawford drinking a Pepsi. For Pepsi, for this to work, let's say they make 80 cents a can, which I doubt they're making 80 cents a can, but let's just say that. We'll give them. So Pepsi, at a $10 million ad, they only need to sell 12,500,000 cans based on that ad. I mean, so when you talk about out of touch ROI, if you're doing it for ROI, I think it's going to be real hard to get to the ROI on 80 cent cans of Pepsi.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day too, like that money would have been better spent on a broader campaign or a more targeted campaign that reached at least as many people or more people who were actually ideal customers through other means, right? So other, like, probably digital advertising, direct marketing, things like that. They probably would have gotten a much better bang for their buck and a better return on the investment if they spent that money other places rather than on a Super Bowl commercial. Again, I think it's a lot of executive vanity, right? We've got a lot of C-suite vanity on display in the Super Bowl. It's great business for, you know, for the creative firms and the ad agencies and the production companies that make the commercials. Like, they're fine with it. But you know, otherwise it's just it's silly. It doesn't make any sense. I like them, but it doesn't make any sense.
Let's see what our man Brian P. Swift has to say. Brian, we're weighing in on the business of Super Bowl ads. Is your nonprofit store going to get a Super Bowl ad? What are your thoughts on is it good business, Brian? Go on. Mr. Swift in the house. Let's see if he's coming up here. Let's see. Come on, Mr. Swift. 3, 2, 1. All right. Go on, Brian. What do you got?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're good to go.
All right. You know, I agree with Tom that there's a lot of vanity involved, but I think for some people they do an ROI and it's worth them and it's worth it. You know, I mean, it definitely cuts out small, medium businesses for, I don't even know what they charge anymore for a 30-second spot. They used to be entertaining. They used to be fun. They used to be funny. I think they served a bigger purpose years ago, but it seems unfortunately like so much has become much of a political statement, even in products or from corporate America, which, nobody wants to see. We want to be entertained. I want to be entertained. I'm going to see the Bud Light commercials from the 80s in 90, back when they were fun. I want to see, the fun Dorito commercials, the fun Pizza Hut commercials, they were fun. They were entertaining. I think they left people. I think they did what they were supposed to do years ago much better than they do now. But as far as that ROI is concerned, I think that we've gotten to a point of worried less about the ROI. And as Tom said, it's a vanity thing. It's an ego thing. And I'm sure it doesn't hurt to be out there, but I don't think it is near the pull as it did years ago. Just my opinion.
Good stuff. Good stuff, Brian P. Swift. Okay, let's do it. It's that time of the show where we go to Tom's Thumbs. Tom has to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down on something going on in the world today. It could be food, could be pop culture, could be business, could be somebody's relationship. Tom, my wife has been putting cocoa butter on my dog's paws because it had some, I don't know, callus growing out of its paw, and they went to the vet one day and started. So every night she puts cocoa butter on this dog's paws. And it's been a while. I mean, I don't know how long a dog needs cocoa butter on, but for you today, the question is, what does Tom think about the pampering of pets in America? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Okay, so I'm going to start this by saying, and just to be absolutely clear to everyone, I love pets. I've had lots of pets over the course of my life, probably a wider variety of pets than most people. We've always had dogs. I grew up with dogs. I have 3 dogs right now. Literally in my house, mere feet from me, I have 3 dogs, right? I've had dogs my whole life. Growing up, my mom was a biology and ecology teacher, and we kept all kinds of weird animals. So like I've had pet snakes, I've had pet rabbits, I've had a pet chinchilla, I've had a pet tarantula at one point, I've had pet turtles, I've had fish, I've had all kinds of stuff, right? Like I literally have had a menagerie of pets. I've had ferrets, all kinds of stuff over the course of my life, right? So I love pets. Absolutely love animals. Wouldn't have it any other way, despite the fact that it is always, having dogs is always heartbreaking because they never live long enough. Every time we lose a dog, I always kind of say to myself that it's 100% worth it every time, right? Because having them in your life is worth the pain of losing them, when they do pass on. But at the end of the day, they're pets, right? They're animals. And I think the reason why I don't agree with the pampering of pets is not because I don't think you should take good care of your pets. Obviously, I think you should take great care of your pets. I think if anything, if reincarnation is a real thing, I want to come back as one of my dogs because my dogs have a great life, right? All of that said, I still treat them like dogs, right? Like I try to communicate with them in a way that they understand as dogs, right? I provide for them what they need as dogs, right? I try to treat them like what they are rather than trying to treat them like a human child, right? And I think when you treat your pets, your animals, your dogs most specifically, like a human child, you do them a disservice and you actually cause more problems for them than you do create happiness. And it's ultimately a really selfish thing to do because at the end of the day, you are treating your pet like a human child to make yourself feel better, right? To make yourself feel good. And you are doing it even oftentimes, though it is detrimental to the well-being of the pet, right? And so for all of those reasons, and don't even get me started on people that call themselves, like dog moms or dog dads or whatever, right? Like, I mean, it's just absurd. But at the end of the day, I absolutely do not think you should pamper your pets. And by pamper your pets, I sort of envision treating them like a human child. You should treat your dogs like dogs. You should treat your pets like the animals that they are. Communicate them in a way that they can understand, provide the best life possible for them, and give them as much sort of positive comfort and support as you can throughout their lives with you, right? All of those things true. Pampering your pets, absolutely not. Thumbs down from me.
Wow, I thought you were going to take us a different. I thought you were going to take us a different direction when you said about your love for all your pets, and then harsh, another thumbs down. Anybody got a percentage on amount of time Tom gives a thumbs down? And we'll get it in the comments, Tom. So okay, you still went thumbs down. Jeez.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, Dom. Like, honestly, I think it's funny because when I give a thumbs up, it's all like, oh, you've gone soft. But then when I give a thumbs down, it's like, oh, you're too tough, or like, you're such a curmudgeon or whatever, right? So, but I genuinely think if we sort of added it up, it's probably like closer to 50-50 than you think.
Okay, just because I see my friend Julie here, I have to ask her. We just talked about pampering pets. Do people pamper pets too much? And Tom, he gave a thumbs down. He loves his pets. He has had many pets, but he gave a thumbs down to pampering pets over pamperization of pets. Is that
Dom?
right? Yeah, go on, Brian.
I think you got to define pampering, so I kind of agree with Tom in one sense. Like, is getting your dog a winter coat pampering them if you're outside a lot? If you consider that pampering, you know what I mean? Some might consider that just like taking precautions so the dog doesn't get, if the dog likes being out and you're out a lot, is that pampering? Getting your dog, the little booties that go on their feet. I know it's a very sensitive area for dogs. If you're an outdoor person and you're outside a lot and maybe walking a lot, is that pampering? So I think it depends on your definition, somewhat on your definition of pampering. Am I buying my dog matching outfits for myself or the other dogs it's with? No, that's treating it like a kid, maybe. Am I buying, so I think people who have had animals love them. I'm going to say as close to maybe as their kids, even though they're not kids, especially people who don't have kids. That is their life. And they do kind of pamper them a bit. Again, depends on your definition of pampering, but they take care of them as much as they would a child, especially people who don't have children. But I think you have to look at, what do you consider pampering?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, Brian. That's why I defined it as treating it as a human child, right? Like, if you treat your pet like it's a human baby or a human child, then you're doing it wrong, right? Because they're not. At the end of the day, your dog is not a person, a human child, right? Like, they're just not, right? They are a sentient being. They deserve respect and to be cared for, to be treated well, right? Like, absolutely 100% agree. But like, for your coat example, if you have a dog with a really short coat and it's, you in the winter when you take it out for walks or you put it outside to go to the bathroom, it's shivering, like, yeah, put a coat on the thing, right? Absolutely. Like, I've had coats for my dogs, but if you're buying a coat for your dog because you like the way it looks on them, right? Or so that it matches your coat, then no, absolutely not. Like, I absolutely not. No,
I agree.
For you take it away. Like get out of here with that noise. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, as long as if you're treating your pet like a human baby, then you've gone off the reservation. You are on the wrong path. You've lost the plot. Whatever you want to say, but you're wrong for doing it. Treat your dog like a dog. I think it's that simple, right? What do you think, Dom?
I want to give some statistics here. We have I believe our number one Tom Stumps fan, Jim Ajay here, and Jim says it is a typical 70-30 thumbs down for Tom. So he tunes in for the Tom Stumps. So, and I want to say on this before we get back to the business of Super Bowl ads, all this applies for me. I kind of agree with Tom on this, except when it comes to Halloween costumes for dogs. I am all in on Halloween costumes for dogs. I want more Halloween costumes for dogs. What do you think?
I mean, look, I'm not opposed. Like one day a year, like putting something on your like I've definitely seen. I like the costumes where like you put it on the dog. The face is the dog's face is like the face in the costume, and then it's got like little stuffed arms, and then the front legs are the legs in the costume. So it looks like a tiny person running at you. They're hilarious, right? Like, I mean, I'm not without humor. I think it's perfectly okay to put something funny on your dog, right? It's the same. It's like you dressing up and putting something funny on. Like, it's fine so long as it doesn't cause distress for the dog. Like, I don't care, right? But again, like doing that as like a one-off for like a few minutes one day a year, fine, right? Like that's just for a laugh or because it's funny or whatever. But like, if you're not treating it like a child at that point. I don't think that rises to that level. It's the people who like push their dogs around in carriages, right? Like, hey, your dog's morbidly obese because it doesn't walk because you push it around in a baby carriage. Like, cut it out. You're hurting your dog. Like, stop it. Stop being a lunatic. It's not a baby, it's a dog.
That being said, this is not the smartest guys in the room. We're here. We're in podcast. We're everywhere these days, Tom. Where are? I don't even know how to say. Where all are we at? Go on.
I mean, like you said, we're all over the place. We're live streaming all over the internet. So we're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. We are on Twitch. I think. I don't know. Do you have us on? I'm looking right now. Do you have us on TikTok today? No, we're just on YouTube and LinkedIn for you. So we're in all those places. We are also now available, thanks to Dom taking the initiative. We're also available as a podcast on your favorite podcast platforms. Usually those go up on Fridays after the show, and then we are also available on the Indie Soup YouTube channel. Thanks to Dr. Tachi, so for having us there, be a part of her universe on Indie Soup. So. And with all the other great creators that she features on that channel. So yeah, so we're a whole bunch of places. We're just trying to show up wherever we can show up, and spread a little not the smartest guys all over the internet. That sounds weird. I don't know if I should have said that. Anyway, back to you, Dom.
On that note, okay, we're gonna get to one of our regulars, Jason. Good dude, Jason. We're talking the business of Super Bowl ads here. Do they make sense? Jimmy, one of the things we haven't talked about yet is water cooler when it comes to the next day. So on that, when I went to Ford needing 16,000 trucks sold, I don't know, maybe if the ad goes water cooler for a week, maybe they do get to 16,000. I don't know. Do they need to? So Jason, what are your thoughts on the business of Super Bowl ads?
I think it's purely performative. I don't think that they really cause people to purchase anything. I think it creates awareness. And if it's enough awareness and strong enough, people will eventually buy. But I have to think about how many times did I remember a Super Bowl commercial? I can't remember one currently. I mean, I know there have been many that I've seen and laughed at, but something significant that made me want to go buy, not one. Not one. So in my experience, my opinion, I think it's purely performative. It's what people tune into. I don't think there are many people who've been turning out of the Super Bowl. They just feel like, oh, this is kind of like, it's just like a show gladiatory game. And I don't know. It just depends if you're really a sports fan or, there are more people come out of the woodworks, posing as football fans, but most of the season they don't watch anything. So for the commercial sake, I think they're performative and awareness primarily.
Hey, good take, Jason. We talk branding a lot. If you're talking branding, is well, we're a big enough brand, and we need to have a Super Bowl commercial because we're Pepsi or Budweiser, and if we're not there, people are going to wonder why weren't these big brands there. Okay, maybe. If you're talking ROI, is Pepsi selling 12,500 cans? I don't think they are. Tom, what say you?
Yeah, I mean, I think too, when it comes down to it, I see the opportunity for like a good sort of value for a large brand in creating a piece of content that shares their value or does something to increase the perceived value of the brand to the audience, right? So if you create a piece of content that tells a story that raises brand value for the audience or brand perception for the audience, I think that is maybe the only way I can think of off the top of my head that it makes sense to create a Super Bowl commercial. But if you're making a Super Bowl commercial to try to sell bottles or cans of Pepsi, I think you're doing it wrong, right? Because it just doesn't make sense. The cost versus the return, like the math just doesn't math, I don't think. So like if you're doing it for brand value, I could see it, right? Because you're increasing the perceived value of your brand in front of a massive audience, right? So if you could do that, and then people are more receptive to other touch points throughout the year or other places where you reach out to them and advertise to them, and maybe people recommend, hey, did you see that Super Bowl commercial that Ford did? I really loved it. It was a great story because of X, Y, and Z. Blah 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 blah. Then maybe you end up in a situation where over time you get a bit of a snowball effect from it, and it actually makes sense, right? I think it's still a gamble, but like to sell a product, to create a commercial that sells a specific product in the Super Bowl, I don't see there being any way that makes financial sense.
That's fair, Tom. Hey, Dr. Tachi, what do you weigh in? Is there a product that can be sold at the Super Bowl that makes sense? Let's go. I was just thinking if I was TAA Craft or Fidelity, TAA Craft sells investments to colleges and schools and things like that. So if somehow I was able to roll over the pension plan of Alabama school because I made such a good okay, then I wonder how many investment plans will be advertising during the Super Bowl. Jason, you were flashing. What do you want to add there?
You know what? I have an idea. I have a theory. This Super Bowl, I think we're going to see more pharmaceutical ads and commercials. I don't think we'll see like too many products outside of that, but I mean, you'll see the usual Pepsi, maybe Budweiser, I don't know, but I have a theory because I noticed last year there were a lot of pharmaceutical ads that I do remember, and I don't know why I remembered it, but yeah, so I think I agree with Tom on what he was saying because at the end of the day, the branding sells sells to the people. Do the products? No, behind the products of the branding of what it delivers does. So I agree with what Tom was saying.
Tom, a lot of people are agreeing with you today. You're on a positive Pete today. Okay, Tom, you ready for what do you got? Go on.
I was just gonna say I did get some pushback on the pampering pets a little bit, or at least at the very least I got some pushback on how often I give a thumbs down. So either way, I got a little bit of grief out of that. So it hasn't been all positivity, but I was about to say like, wow, I'm getting a lot of support around the room today. So hey, I'll take it. I'm not gonna look that gift horse in the mouth.
your wife is going to be like, why is Tom being so nice today? And your daughter's going to be like, man, Daddy's in a good mood today.
Cause what? I'm a jerk the rest of the time. Like that's the implication is what? Like the rest of if people don't pat me on the back enough that I'm an awful person to my family. I don't think that's the case.
Oh my, okay. Hey, all right, before we get to PSAs, Julie, you want to weigh in on Super Bowl ads, the business of Super Bowl, or you want to weigh in on Tom and that take that might be anti to yours on the pampering of pets? Go on, Julie.
I don't know. Like I could go either way. I mean, I totally treat my dogs like children. When my dog was critically ill and about ready to die, I mean, I felt that visceral pain like it was my child. So, but do I let them eat at my table? No. So there's a line I draw. Do I let them sleep in my bed? Well, yes. So there is that line I draw. So I'm kind of in, I'm more in than I am out. But they are like my kids, but I do have 4 kids and I do put them before the dogs, but barely. So that's my 2 cents.
Another person kind of agreeing with Tom today. Okay, Tom.
Yeah, I have to really check myself now. My goodness.
All right.
Is Mercury in retrograde?
On that note, it is time for PSAs. Tom, what do you want to go first today? How should we need an order for this. What do you want to do? You want to go first?
Yeah,
I
don't. I'm genuinely like I'm a little underprepared today for PSAs. I don't actually have one yet. So I'm going to say you go first, and while you're going, I've got 60 seconds to come up with one myself.
And that's good because you said I saw you doing a class where you should be able to tell a story in 60 seconds. So go on. So, okay, my PSA, do I need a clock here? Or is the clock on? I can't even see it. I can't see it because the poem is, I was going in a building the other day. I get on the elevator. I hold the elevator for somebody. Boop, hold elevator. Person comes in the elevator. When we get off the elevator, I let them get off the elevator first. 2 times, right? I think I'm being a nice guy. We go to the same desk. The person goes in front of me. Now, I think I was on the elevator first. I held it for them rather than letting it slam in their face. I let them off the elevator first because you let people off the elevator first. I thought that was like basic common etiquette. But that they could not let me go to the desk first when obviously I was on the elevator first. I let you off the elevator first, and you take my spot at the desk where we were checking in. Come on, man. That is not cool. That's a PSA fail for me, Tom. If I need my own fail. So that's what I got.
I disagree.
Brian with a hot disagree. Okay.
Well, I mean, if you're going to let somebody, they got off the elevator first then, right? So they were ahead of you. They were ahead of you to go to the desk. You've showed that you are giving them that you're giving them that go ahead of you sign, and that you are being very I'm trying to think of the right word, but like walking on the outside of the street, when your girl is on the inside of the side or the sidewalk. So I think that since you've given them that sign, they're assuming that I don't think it's an intentional snipe at you. I think it is a continuation of the generosity that you have shown them.
Well, thank you for that, but they were wrong. I want reciprocity in my elevators. Okay, get ready. We got another PSA coming from Tommy. He had 60 seconds. Has he figured it out yet? Let's see how he manages this clock today too. If you ever watch it, if you watch where we stream, sometimes Tom struggles to get this clock. It starts at like 15 seconds. So what do you got,
Yeah.
Tom? You ready for your
Well,
PSA?
we're gonna see. We're gonna see. I tried to short circuit it. We'll see if it works. Here we go.
He's
All right, it worked. All right, perfect. So I often am out and about wearing headphones in the course of doing my my training, right? So like while I'm on my bike, a lot of times I'll have headphones. They're the open air headphones, right? So like I can still hear what's going on around me to be safe. Same thing when I'm running. And even when I'm swimming, I do have waterproof headphones that I wear while I'm swimming because I spend a lot of time face down in a pool and it gets boring. So anyway, I just want to like throw a PSA quick out there. There's a lot of people that spend a lot of time out in public with headphones on for whatever reason. Please stop trying to have a conversation with me while I have headphones on. While I'm obviously wearing headphones, when you can see that I'm wearing headphones, if you can see that I'm wearing headphones, assume that I'm listening to something. And so therefore I'm not available to have a conversation. If you need to get my attention, if you need to get me to say something to me, that's fine. Like I can stop what I'm listening to. You got to give me a second to do it, but I'll stop what I'm listening to and I will tune into what you have to say. But like, don't just start having a conversation with me and expect me to respond to you because sometimes I can't hear you. Like I swim with earplugs in and then I have headphones on as well. So I've got music playing and I've got earplugs in. So like I really can't hear what you're saying. It's like you're like a Charlie Brown teacher to me going wah 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 wah, right? And like I can't have a conversation with you right now. And then I got to stop, take my earplugs at like whatever. If I got headphones on, please stop trying to talk to me unless there's something important you have to say. That's all.
Ouch. I want to disagree with that PSA. How do I know? One, can I see your headphones? What if somebody has longer hair? Two, maybe it's your iPhone or something that's in your ear. And three, don't we live in a society? I want to talk to you and you're just being all to yourself and with your headphones on. Come on, man. I see somebody, I want to smile at you and say, "Hey, sir, have a nice day." Instead, you won't even respond to me, man.
That's not what I said at all. All right. First, to like, let's address your points there, Dom. So, like, first of all, I obviously do not have long hair, right? So there's no way that my hair is hiding my headphones. If I have headphones on, you can see them. I guarantee it, right? So, like, that's number one. And number two, I'm not like not participating in society. I will smile at people. I will wave at people. I will engage with them. And if you need to get my attention and need to say something to me, like, I'm happy to do that. But if I'm in the middle of doing something, i.e., like I'm in the middle of a workout, swimming or something like that, right? And you come up to me and just start like having small talk, like I can't, I got to tell you to wait. I got to take all my, like, stop the music, take my earplugs out, and then somebody to go, "Oh, I was just saying, isn't it chilly out this morning?" And I'm like, well, I just wasted like 30 seconds so you could tell me it was freaking chilly out. Like, obviously, I know it's chilly out. Like, what are we doing? Just if you see I have headphones, is it really worth it to just comment on the current temperature outside? Like, smile, wave, say good morning, and go on about your business.
I got to agree with Tom on this one. If you're in the middle, especially if you're in the middle, you see a guy on a bike and he's got the bike gear on and the helmet and he's training. You see a guy in a gym, definitely if you see a guy swimming, they're not going to hear you. The only time I will say something, what annoys me, and I know it's not part of the question, is somebody that's walking down the street or in public and they're talking. And sometimes, you look up and you don't know if they're addressing you or saying something to you. Anybody who's, they're on their phone, but they got the earbuds in and having a conversation. Sometimes you don't know, did they, you're not paying attention. Did they say something to you? And, I like asking them if they'd order me a pizza. That's how I deal with those. But I got to agree with Tom on this one.
Okay, well done, Brian. And I have a fondness for your agree or disagree today. Well played both times. So, okay, this was the business of Super Bowl ads, Tom. I got to give you a memory lane before you do a wrap up. Is that fair? We're cruising today.
That sounds good to me, man. We're coming into the home stretch here. We got just over 5 minutes left. So yeah, let's go. Memory lane. Take us for a little trip.
Okay, right after I got on that elevator yesterday and off of that elevator, I checked in to get my gallbladder out. This is memory lane. My gallbladder was the best gallbladder. I had it for 48 years. She did me good. I ate a lot of fried chicken, a lot of candy, a lot of soda, but it was time. So yesterday, my gallbladder went the way of the buffalo and is no more. Took it out, and I'm back today already. I used the surgeon that I had used before. This guy's the best. He's thorough, and I'll be back skiing. And I want to say right before I went to get my gallbladder out, I went skiing the day before because I thought I'll get my final ski in, and I wrecked my car up on a guardrail. So before my gallbladder, before my gallbladder went, my car got caught on the gallbladder. But both things ended up good. So that's my memory lane for today, Tom.
That's your a fond farewell to your gallbladder is your memory lane. Is it gonna negatively impact your ability to have chicken wings at the Super Bowl?
I'm so scared. This is my biggest fear. And my biggest fear is that I won't be able to process fried chicken the same way. And my wife wouldn't let me have, like, all I wanted last night was a cookie. And she's like, no, you can't have any cookies. And I wanted some gummy bears. I had some Shack gummies at my house, Shackatocious gummy bears. She wouldn't let me have those. So, but I am worried about the fried chicken, if I'm going to be able to process the same way. I think yes.
I mean, I think my mom had her gallbladder out years ago. And I think, like, at the end of the day, I think what it was that ultimately it was just she couldn't eat as much sort of fatty foods, but she could still eat some, right? So it's like, okay, like, you just can't have fried chicken all that often, which is probably, generally speaking, for the best, right? Like, we shouldn't be eating fried chicken multiple times a week. As much as our mouth enjoys it, it's probably not the best for the rest of our systems and our, biologically and nutritionally speaking. But I think you'll be okay. I think you'll be able to have a drumstick and have some wings. Just probably not as much as you have in the past, but maybe that's not the worst thing in the world, right? Some is better than none, right? Something is always better than nothing. So I got my fingers crossed for you, buddy. I'm hoping you can down some wings this Sunday.
Dom, I think you could even have more wings than usual because your gallbladder's not in the way now, which means your stomach can take in more wings and it won't bother your gallbladder. So I say you go for a world record.
I appreciate the encouragement, Brian, for more wings. All right, let's do this as we come to a close here today. Besides for eating more wings, Tom's going to wrap us up and tell us what else we should do. So, Tom, put a bow on this Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah, so I would just say this. I think, look, watch the Super Bowl, watch the ads, enjoy them. Like I said, I'm of two minds of this. I think they're a waste of money, and I think largely they're vanity projects, right, from the C-suite. But the other side of it is that often they're also entertaining and fun. And whether they're good or not, they're fun to make fun of when they're awful, right? And they're fun to watch and fun to share afterwards when they're good. So either way, I think there's a way to enjoy them. I think everybody should, take a gander this weekend. If you don't get to watch the Super Bowl, you can definitely find them online after the fact. There are always compilations of them, reviews of them, critiques of them, etc. But yeah, check out the ads, have a good time, eat some wings, enjoy the Super Bowl. It's one of those kind of fun, very uniquely sort of American weekends that happens seemingly later and later every year. Used to be like second week of January, I think, and now it's February every year. But anyway, enjoy it, right? It's a fun weekend. It's a fun event. A lot of people go to parties, spend time with friends and family. So do those things, and have a good Super Bowl, right? Have a good time. Have a great weekend. And that's all I got, right? So that's all we got for this week. Thank you guys for being with us as always. We appreciate you. Thank you, Dom, for making time this Wednesday, despite the fact that you are recovering from the loss of your gallbladder. We appreciate you being here. And we appreciate all of you guys being here with us, joining us, listening to us, engaging with us, talking with us, and sharing your thoughts, and being, the smarter people in the room, because at the end of the day, Dom and I are not the smartest guys in the room. And you guys are the reason why we do this every week. So thanks again. We appreciate you. We love you. And we will see you next week after the Super Bowl. So have a great weekend. enjoy your chicken wings, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.